I never thought I'd be the guy writing something like this, but here I am. My name's Mike, and I've been with my wife, Lisa, for about 6 years now. We got married pretty young, but we had a good thing going, at least I thought so. She was everything I ever wanted: smart, funny, ambitious. Or at least she was until recently. Things started feeling off about 3 weeks ago. She was more distant, secretive almost. Little things, you know. She'd hide her phone more often, get defensive if I asked her about her day, and suddenly she was really interested in her work trips. She'd always had some ambition, but now it felt like she was hiding something and I couldn't quite put my finger on it. I tried ignoring it at first, thinking maybe I was just paranoid. But then I noticed her messages. I saw her phone screen accidentally when she was charging it. There were strange texts from a number I didn't recognize. Just quick, can't wait to see you, and last night was amazing. When I asked her about it, she brushed it off with that bitchy smirk, saying I was imagining things, that she was just working late or texting her friends. But her tone was defensive and her eyes flicked away faster than I could catch. That's when I started paying more attention, and honestly I felt like I was losing my mind. The real turning point was last weekend. She went on a supposed business trip, a conference in the city, she said. She packed her bags like she was going for a week, but I didn't see her off in the morning and she didn't tell me she left. Instead, she was sneaky about it, and that's when I decided to do some digging. I called her boss, a guy named Mark, just to see if she was really there. I got his voicemail, which was strange, but I figured I'd wait until she got back. What I didn't expect was to come home early that Wednesday and find my wife's car in our driveway and her purse in the trunk. I didn't think much of it until I saw her keys on the table and her shoes in the closet. I was about to go to bed when I heard noises coming from the guest room. It was late and I thought maybe she was talking to a friend or something. Then I heard her voice, not on the phone but in person. I crept closer and froze when I saw her in the middle of the room, her back to me, with a man I didn't recognize. But then I saw his face, Mark, her boss. They were on the bed, and from what I could see, they weren't just talking. The way they were tangled up, it was obvious. She was on top of him, biting her lip, and he was gripping her hips like he was trying to hold her down for something more. I just stood there, stunned, my mind racing, heart pounding so loud I thought it might explode. I didn't say a word, just backed away slowly and went into the other room. When she finally came out, her face was flushed, her eyes wide with surprise. I stared at her and she played it cool, like nothing was happening. She told me she was working late, that she had met Mark for a drink after the conference, and that I was overthinking it. She even had the nerve to call me paranoid, saying I was imagining things. Yeah, right, I saw what I saw, and it's not just some innocent flirtation. How do you even pretend that didn't happen? I couldn't believe she was lying to my face, brushing it off like I was crazy. That's when I realized I was dealing with a liar, a cheater, and a manipulator. And honestly, I felt like I was at the end of my rope. The days that followed were a blur of anger, confusion, and a crushing sense of betrayal. I couldn't even look at Lisa the same way after what I saw. Every time I caught her in a lie, my stomach twisted with rage. She kept insisting that I was overreacting, that I was imagining things, that she'd never cheat on me. But I knew better. I saw her in that hotel room with Mark. I saw her lips pressed against his neck, her hands gripping his shirt like she was trying to drown herself in the moment. How could she lie so effortlessly? It was like she was trying to gaslight me into doubting my own memories, my own instincts. I spent a sleepless night trying to figure out what to do. Part of me wanted to confront her right then and there, to call her out, to demand answers. But another part, the more rational part, knew that I needed to get proof. Hard proof. I couldn't just accuse her without concrete evidence. So I started sneaking around, checking her phone when she wasn't looking, going through her emails, texts, and social media. I even installed a tracker on her car just to see where she'd go. I wasn't proud of it, but I felt like I was running out of options. I needed to know how deep this went, how many lies I'd been living with. Then, yesterday, I found the proof I was looking for. A text message thread on her phone from Mark filled with "Can't wait to see you tonight. Last night was incredible, and let's keep this between us." It was all right there. My stomach sank. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. The worst part is, I knew she was lying about everything. The trips, the late nights, the business dinners. All bullshit. She was sleeping with her boss. God, how could she be so cold and manipulative? It felt like I'd been blindsided by a freight train and I was just trying to catch my breath. I wanted to confront her immediately, but I knew I had to be smart. I couldn't just burst in and accuse her without having my ducks in a row. So I waited. I waited until she got home last night, and I knew she would be tired and vulnerable. I prepared myself for what was coming. When she walked in the door, she was all fake sweetness, trying to act like everything was normal. I looked her straight in the eyes and told her I knew about everything, that I saw her with Mark, that I had the proof on my phone. Her face went blank for a second, then the shock turned into that same bitchy smirk she always had. She started with her usual excuses, saying it was just sex, that it meant nothing, that I was being paranoid. Like I was supposed to just accept that she cheated on me and shrugged it off like a bad joke. That's when I lost it. I told her I wasn't some naive idiot who'd take her lies anymore. I told her I saw what she was doing, how she played me, how she manipulated me into thinking everything was fine while she was banging her boss behind my back. She kept insisting she loved me, that it was just a mistake, that she was stressed or whatever excuse she could come up with. But her words didn't matter anymore. I was hit with shock, rage, and a deep, burning feeling of betrayal. I felt like I'd been punched so hard I couldn't breathe. And in that moment, I knew I had to decide what to do next. This wasn't just about her cheating. It was about the fact that she'd lied to my face, played me for a fool, and then tried to gaslight me into believing her bullshit. I don't know what's worse, the betrayal itself or how easily she dismissed it all with her smug attitude. I honestly don't know how I'm supposed to look at her now. After the confrontation, everything felt like it shifted into some kind of surreal nightmare. She was still there, standing in front of me, trying to act like nothing had changed. But I could see it, the guilt, the defensiveness, the way her eyes darted around. She was trying to lie her way out of it again, but I was done playing that game. The anger inside me boiled over, but beneath it, there was this crushing sadness. I'd trusted her for so long, built my life around her, and now it all felt like it was crumbling in an instant. I couldn't sleep that night. My mind kept replaying her sneaky little smiles, her fake tears, the way she tried to act innocent when I had all the proof. I felt so betrayed, like I'd been hit with a sledgehammer. How did I miss all the signs? How did I let her get away with this for so long? I kept asking myself these questions, but there were no good answers. All I knew was that I was furious, furious she could do this to me, to us. I felt like I was drowning in a mix of rage and deep sadness, like I'd lost a part of myself that I'd never get back. The next morning, I made the decision. I couldn't stay in this house, not now. I packed a bag and left. I needed space to breathe, to think, to figure out what I was going to do next. I didn't want to fight with her anymore, I just wanted out. I sent her a text before leaving. We need to talk about everything. I can't do this anymore. I'll be staying with a friend for a while. I thought she'd try to stop me, but she didn't. Instead, she sent back a quick fine, like she didn't care. That was a slap in the face. She didn't even try to save what was left of us. She just let me walk away. While I was gone, I couldn't help but reflect on everything. How many nights had I missed the signs? How many times had I trusted her when I should have been more suspicious? I kept thinking about the good times, the vacations, the date nights, the plans we made for the future, and how easy it had been for her to throw all that away for some secret fling with her boss. It's honestly hard to explain the mix of feelings I have right now. Mostly I'm just numb. Numb from the shock, the betrayal, and the heartbreak. I keep asking myself, how do you move past something like this? Can I? People always say you should forgive, that love conquers all, but I'm not sure I believe that anymore. How do you forgive someone who lied so blatantly, who betrayed everything you believed in? I keep thinking about what I want for myself now. Do I try to fix this? Do I fight for her? Or do I just walk away and try to rebuild my life without her? Honestly, I don't have the answer. All I know is that I've never felt this broken in my life. The pain is raw, and I keep waking up wondering how it all fell apart so fast. That's the real shock, how quickly everything can shatter when someone you trusted turns out to be a liar and a cheat. The days after I left her house were some of the hardest I've ever lived through. It's like every moment was filled with a sharp ache. A constant reminder that the person I loved, the woman I thought I knew, had been lying to me the entire time. I kept seeing her face when I confronted her, that smirk she gave when she was caught, the way she tried to act like everything was normal as if she hadn't just shattered my world. Honestly, I've never felt so helpless, so furious, and so utterly betrayed all at once. I spent hours just lying on my friend Dave's couch, trying to piece things together, trying to understand how she could do this to us. I kept going over the past few weeks, replaying everything in my head, and every detail just made me angrier. She had lied about her trips, lied about her meetings, lied about her feelings, all to hide her affair with Mark. I kept asking myself how I missed the signs, how I could have been so blind. But deep down I knew I hadn't been blind. I just refused to see the ugly truth until it was shoved right in my face. That's the thing about betrayal, it sneaks in quietly, then hits you like a ton of bricks when you least expect it. Seeing her in that hotel room, her lips pressed against Mark's neck, that was the moment everything changed. I couldn't look at her without feeling like I'd been punched in the stomach. Every memory of us together, every promise we made, it all felt meaningless now. I realized that my trust had been broken so thoroughly, I wasn't sure I'd ever be able to rebuild it. Honestly, part of me wanted to burn everything down, my marriage, my hope, my future, just to stop the pain. But I knew that wasn't the answer. I had to face this head on, even if it hurt like hell. The worst part was the guilt eating me from the inside. I kept wondering if I could have done something differently, if I missed some signs that could have saved us from this disaster. Maybe I should have been more suspicious, more attentive. But the truth is, I never thought she'd do something like this. I thought we had a real connection, that she loved me, even if she was stressed or busy. Now I look back and see how naive I was. She was playing me all along, hiding her affair, lying to my face, and acting like she cared. That's what kills me the most, knowing I was just a pawn in her game, while she was out there fucking her boss behind my back. I don't have a clear plan yet, but I do know that I can't stay with her. Not after everything I saw and everything she's admitted to. It's like my entire world has been turned upside down, and I'm just trying to find a way to stand up again. I've been thinking about what I want next, whether to fight for a divorce, to try to save what's left, or to cut her out of my life entirely. Right now, I just feel numb, like I'm walking through a fog. It's hard to even think straight. The trust is gone, the love is gone, and all I have left is this cold, aching realization that my wife, the woman I was going to spend my life with, was just a beautiful lie. The decision to leave her was not easy, but it was necessary. Sitting alone that night, I felt like I was in a state of limbo, like I was both mourning and trying to brace myself for what's next. I knew I couldn't stay under the same roof anymore. Her lies had poisoned everything we had built. I needed space to think, to breathe, to figure out whether this was something I could forgive or if I was better off walking away for good. So I made up my mind and told her I was done. I sent her a blunt message that I was leaving and that I needed time to myself. Her response was cold, dismissive, like she didn't even care, just a simple fine, which cut deeper than I expected. It was like she didn't even fight for us, for me. That's when I realized how little she valued what we had, how little she valued me. I moved out that same night, into a small apartment I found on a whim, just to get away from the chaos. It felt like I was physically removing myself from everything that reminded me of her, but emotionally I was still a wreck. I kept looking back at our pictures, the little memories we shared, and I wondered how everything could have gone so wrong so fast. I kept asking myself if I was to blame, if somehow I missed the signs, or if she was just always meant to betray me. The guilt and anger wrestled inside me, and honestly I felt like I was losing my mind. How do you pick up the pieces of a life you thought was perfect when you realize it was built on lies? Friends and family tried to give me advice, but nothing really helped. I didn't want to hear about forgiveness or second chances, not now. All I knew was that I needed time to heal, to process what happened. I wouldn't lie, part of me still hoped she'd come to her senses, beg for forgiveness, and tell me she made a huge mistake. But deep down, I knew that was wishful thinking. When someone cheats, especially someone who lies so effortlessly, trust is shattered beyond repair. And honestly, I don't even know if I want to rebuild it. The betrayal cut so deep, it's like I lost a part of myself, that naive trust, that hope that everything was okay. What's been hardest is realizing how much I invested in this relationship. My time, my love, my future, only for it to be thrown away like trash. I kept replaying everything, wondering if I could have caught her sooner, if I should have been more suspicious, or if I was just blind. But then I remind myself I wasn't blind. I was just in love, and love makes you see only what you want to see. Now I feel like I'm starting from scratch, and I'm not sure what the future holds. All I know is that I can't keep living in the past, clinging to a broken trust. I have to move forward even if it kills me. Because right now, the pain of betrayal is all I feel, a terrible, brutal reminder that sometimes the people you love the most can hurt you the worst. And no matter how much I wish it wasn't true, I now have to find a way to rebuild my life without her. It's been a few weeks now since I left her house, and honestly, I'm still trying to piece things together. The feelings are all over the place: anger, sadness, relief, regret. It's like I'm walking through a storm with no clear direction. One thing I've realized is that trust, real, genuine trust, is so fragile. I thought I had it with her, but it was just an illusion. Now I see that the person I thought I knew was just a mask she wore, hiding her true self behind lies and betrayal. That realization hurts more than I expected. Love is supposed to be about honesty and loyalty, but I learned the hard way that some people don't deserve that kind of trust. I've been trying to focus on myself, rebuild what I can, and figure out what I want moving forward. I don't have all the answers yet, and honestly, I don't know if I ever will fully heal from this. What I do know is that I refuse to let her betrayal define me. I've started therapy, talking to friends, and trying to rediscover who I am outside of her. I've also realized that I deserve better: someone who respects me, who values honesty, and who doesn't cheat behind my back. That's the lesson I'll carry with me. Never ignore the signs, never settle for less than what I deserve, and always trust my instincts. Looking back, I wish I had handled things differently. Maybe confronted her sooner, maybe asked more questions. But at the same time, I also know that I did everything I could. Sometimes, people just aren't who they seem to be, no matter how much you want to believe in them. And in the end, the only thing I can do is learn from this, move on, and make sure I don't let someone else's lies destroy me again. It's not about revenge or anger anymore. It's about reclaiming my life and rediscovering what happiness means for me. For now, that's enough. I'll keep moving forward, one step at a time, hoping that someday I'll find peace again, the kind that comes from finally letting go of the pain and betrayal.